Welcome everyone to the final game of the Hans Nepo match in Belgrade, Serbia. This is the final 8th classical game. The time control is 60 minutes and 30 seconds increment. And first game was won by Nepo, and then we had 6 draws. And this is the final game. Hans is in a must win if he needs to save this match, and that's not going to be easy. We have spectators who've come in. All the proceeds of the tickets from this event go to a local shelter, which is great gesture by the organizers and by the players. This event has been organized by Endgame.ai. A handshake, and off we go. Hans Niemann opens the game with pawn to e4. The pressure is intense. Let's see how Nepo deals with. Oh, he goes for the Sicilian. That's very interesting choice by Nepo because he needs just a draw to win the match. And he goes knight c6. Will Hans play the open Sicilian? No. He chooses the Rosolimo. Pawn to e6 played by Nepo, usually a favorite of Boris Gelfand, who likes to play his knight to e7. Bishop takes c6, taken by Hans even before the reinforcements could arrive here. B takes c6. While the structure is slightly compromised with the double pawns, Black has a very strong center. He plays his pawn to d3. Very interesting imbalance right from the word go. Queen c7 played by Nepo, looking at the e5 square. And now knight comes out to c3. Jan pushes his pawn to e5. And now Black has a very nice structure here. White has to play around it. Castles. And now pawn to d6. With the bishop coming out, the other bishop coming out, the knight coming out. The knight goes to e2. I wonder what White's plan should be. Should it be c3, d4? Should it be knight going here? Should it be move the knight from f3, play f4? Will be interesting. He goes h3, and you can see Hans is blitzing out his moves. So is Nepo. Whoa, f5. Nepo's like, I'm opening up the position for my bishops. Takes. Bishop takes. And now I really want to push c3, d4. But Hans first goes knight to g3, attacking the bishop here. The bishop, he goes queen d7, protecting it. All of this played so quickly. I mean, they started with 1 hour. Nepo has 59 minutes. Hans has 1 hour, 4 minutes, and Nepo gets up, which means this is his opening prep here. A3 played by Hans, and usually in such positions you want to go for the b4 break because after take the a7 pawn can become weak, and Nepo stops it with a5. And now knight to d2 played here. The knight goes back, and the knight can go to c4 or e4, putting pressure on these squares. We have knight coming out to f6. It's interesting that Hans is not taking this bishop, but actually a very good move now is knight to c4, threatening knight b6, and you can't play rook b8 easily because a5 is hanging. And so all of a sudden, yes, he plays it. Queen can't move because the bishop is hanging. Rook can't move because the pawn is hanging. I mean, you have to go a little bit here. He goes knight d5. So he defends it with the knight. And now can we kind of fix this weakness with a4, bishop d2? Whoa, f4. What a move by Hans. He's opening up the rook here and he's threatening this pawn. I mean, you can't castle because fe5. And I think Nepo already is in some big trouble here out of the opening. Hans's ideas were amazing. Knight d2, knight c4, pushing f4. He takes, bishop takes, castles, and now knight takes f5, taken. And rook takes f5. Okay, the bishop on f4 under pressure now. Maybe bishop h2 is the move you have to play. And he goes bishop g3. With 35 minutes to Hans, 48 minutes to Nepo. I mean, you want to double here, but it's not easy. The a5 pawn is hanging. So queen f1, rook f1, queen f1, and a4 maybe. I think just make the rook active here. Yes, he plays his pawn to a4. Hans has this move now. What can you do with this move? Do you go queen f3, rook f1? He goes rook e1. Takes the open file here. And rook to f8 played. Attacking the queen. The queen comes to e2. Now, the queen is coming in on e6. And that could really make the d6 pawn weak. So have to go carefully here. Rook f6 defends the pawn on d6. And now I'm wondering what kind of tactics exist. Does a move like knight b6 work? Because then you can win this bishop. It actually does. But Hans waits. He goes king h2. And I think Hans can sense it, He can sense it in the air that he has chances to win. Nepo comes back. Well, it's not a happy position. And you know that a draw is going to get the job done, but the draw is nowhere in sight. He goes pawn to h6. And now Hans brings his queen to e4, slowly improving the position. Nepo pushes g5. Now this move, more than an active move, it does create weaknesses, but there is a plan. You want to put your knight on the f4 square. Knight e3. Amazing move by Hans. Not only as the knight challenging the knight here, you're also looking at the a4 pawn. Knight could go to g4. He takes the knight, but now rook e3. Yes, attacks the bishop and the pawn. And that pawn is quite a useful pawn, right? It gives white the a passer. Bishop f8. And now taking the pawn makes the most sense. Takes it here. And now h5 played with the idea of h4 in the position. A pawn to h4. And now bishop h6 played. This is an incredible game played by Hans because, to win on demand in the match is never easy. He comes back, and I think a good plan is just to trade queens now because the endgame should be winning. He plays g4, attacks the rook. Going back with the rook is one idea. Yeah, rook e2. He keeps the queens on the board because I feel Hans realizes that this is a weakness. These pawns could become weak. The king is weak. Why should I rush into trading queens? d5. And now queen to e5, attacking the rook and the pawn. If you go rook f5, I have queen e6 check. He goes queen f7, defending here and here. And it's time to push the a pawn down the board now because everything else is well coordinated, connected. Yes, he pushes it forward. Where is Nepo's counterplay? He would hope for something like bring the rook and the queen in, and he's doing it. But once his pieces kind of go away, his own king is so weak. And Hans goes a5. He has kept a good time on the clock. 22 minutes for Hans, 24 minutes for Nepo. Bishop to g7 attacks the queen. And check. Queen takes queen. Rook takes queen. Check. And now, I guess rook e6 is a good idea to attack here. There's also rook e7 to pin. He goes rook e1. Aha, very clinical. Very clinical. The point is, if you take and try to win here, a6 and the pawn is unstoppable. So rook f7. And Hans goes bishop to d6. I guess one of his ideas here is rook e7, because if bishop b2, you can go a6 followed by rook e7. Oh, he takes the pawn. I hear rook e7 somehow is not that good because of check and the bishop comes back to stop the pawn. So better is to push the pawn. He pushes forward. And what if rook a7 here? Yes, check, takes, check, g3, bishop b8, and now bishop takes c5 with a7 is winning. So c4 played by Nepo, bishop to c5. We have a7 threatened, bishop comes to c3, attacking the rook. I think you just have to move the rook away, like rook e7 should do the trick. He goes rook e8, which is also a nice move. He takes on d3, pawn takes d3, and there's no stopping this pawn. Nepo resigns, and he starts to talk about the game, about what's happening here, and Hans kind of does not respond to that, and I think he asks, do you want tie breaks? It's 4-4 now, and perhaps Nepo is not sure there, or maybe he declines the tie breaks. But this is the conversation, because I guess I'm not sure if they had it in the rules or not, what happens at 4-4. And yeah, well, the arbiter also comes in to ask if there are going to be tie breaks or not. And Nepo doesn't seem like there will be tie breaks. And after this match ended, we actually had a tweet by Hans Niemann, which we'll show it to you. And after the tweet, the two actually met in Tashkent in the US Chess Cup that was about to start. So this kind of escalated after this game. You can see Hans there being relieved after this victory. Score is 4-4. And let's here look at what Hans had to say in his tweet. Setting the record straight on the match with Ian Nepomniachtchi, the $100,000 came up last year at the Aeroflot Open and appeared in our promo video as part of the narrative. We should have made clear at the time that it wasn't the agreed terms for this match, and that's on us. What isn't in question is that Ian accepted the actual terms before we played a single move. Prize fund reflects a player's current rating and standing, and Ian's are well off his peak, so the figure was fair and he was glad to take it, calling it embarrassingly low only after losing his poor form. I even offered a tiebreak that gave him a real chance to win the match outright. He turned it down. He then asked for the half of the winner's bonus for drawing the match, insisted on it, and complained when we said no. That bonus was for winning, nothing else, and we found the demand unreasonable. Great effort went into the event, and I treated it as the occasion it was. Ian didn't seem to take it seriously. He wore exact same shirt and hoodie every single day. What I won't let pass is his line that I played the final game with no inaccuracies like my younger years. I'd ask Ian to say plainly what he means. Insinuations like that are serious and damaging, and we all remember what they cost me for years. I'd hope he wouldn't reach for them. On a better note, revenue from ticket sales went to a local orphanage with an additional donation from Endgame. That's all I'll say from here. I'll let chess speak for itself. Hans and Nepo then met during the technical meeting where there was no handshake, and we also have Jan's thoughts on this issue.
Crazy, I think. So And Nepo, just one final question. Before you came here, there was this match against Hans in Belgrade. And then you came, I think, right the day of the technical meeting. And there was this moment where you did not shake hands with Hans. Share a bit about that.
I don't want to, spend too much time talking on this. But basically, I was really unsatisfied with his behavior, in the last day of the match. Even at the board, I don't think it was respectful neither to chess nor for me. Despite he played a very good game against me, like in the last game, but overall his behavior, I found it he's not a teenager anymore, yeah? So would it be 4 years ago, I wouldn't be too thrilled, but I believe when he's 20 plus finally, he probably has to learn how to behave. All in all, his dedication to chess is commendable, but his behavior is not. And then the communication after the match with him, basically he just stopped answering any messages and so on. Because the thing that we discussed all the details in person, and then he basically vanished. And also I think his statements on X is I don't find it polite to say so.
Thank you so much, Nepo. Just wanted to ask that. And best wishes for all the upcoming games.
Thank you very much.